course, Poe was a literary visionary, the master of, descriptive narratives and amazing imagery. The characters in his short stories are filled with eerie thoughts, fears, and impulses. And his writing also showcased a sensitivity for women, especially in his touching and lyrical poetry. But the great author was usually broke, since writing poetry did not pay, and neither did writing prose, for that matter. So, scrambling for cash, Edgar Allan Poe tries his hand at many different literary genres. Poetry, short stories, criticism, journalism, and the crafting of fake news. Poe takes his first crack at writing a fake news story in 1835 while working as a writer/editor at the Southern Literary Messenger in Richmond, Virginia. The first of several periodicals and newspapers Poe was to edit or write for. Perhaps, thinks Poe, I can concoct a tale of a fabulous new telescope through which beings on the moon can be seen. Nah, thinks Poe. Who in their right mind would ever believe that? Eureka, says Poe. I've got it. A trip to the moon in a balloon. The public will love it. But Edgar Allan Poe's effort was eclipsed by another fake news moon story. And when his editor shows him a copy of the New York Sun and asks him, Edgar, have you seen the news? There's a fabulous new telescope that has revealed life on the moon. Well, a dejected Poe yells, blast, beaten at my own game. And he storms out of the Southern Literary Messenger's office. Now, prone to drinking ad laudanum binges, Edgar Allan Poe bounced around from job to job. Years pass, and his fortunes do not improve. Finally, in 1844, with his young wife gravely ill, she's slowly dying from tuberculosis, and in desperate need of funds, Poe comes to New York City, hoping to find work. Poe needs to craft a clever yarn, and the public is still crazy for ballooning. So he takes his news story to the very same newspaper, the New York City Sun, whose fake moon story had outfoxed him 9 years earlier. Now, ballyhoo publisher Benjamin Day is thrilled and tells Edgar Allan Poe that with clever handling, this story will be a sensation. And the New York Sun knows all about clever handling. So on April 12th, 1844, the New York Sun runs a teaser, a special notice in that day's issue. This special notice states that dispatched via rider from the south, this headline, Atlantic Ocean crossed by balloon. An extra edition tomorrow morning will give all the details. The next day, the Sun's office is mobbed by people anxiously awaiting this extra edition. And when the paper finally appears, all copies are snatched up instantly. Atlantic crossed in 3 days, reads the headline. According to Poe's story, 8 aviators had set out. They had set out to cross the English Channel, but they were blown off course by a massive storm. They're blown off course all the way to South Carolina. Poe claims that his story was taken directly from the journals of the balloon's passengers, including 2 real-life aeronauts, Thomas Mason and Rupert Holland. They had flown from England to Germany, a record-setting distance at the time. Now, the sold-out issue of the New York Sun is fetching as high a price as 50 cents a copy from scalpers. And Poe is very satisfied. He's satisfied with himself. He's satisfied with the stir he has created with his fake news story. But the truth comes out very quickly, as authorities in South Carolina find no evidence of any balloon landing. Balloon? What balloon? State the locals. And the Sun admits only that it had not, received confirmation of the story before publishing it. Now, the momentary success of the fake news balloon across the Atlantic story does little to reverse the tragic course of Edgar Allan Poe's life. And he dies under mysterious circumstances 5 years later at the ripe old age of 40. Now, to learn more about Edgar Allan Poe, go to God Rock Radio number 35, GRR number 35, which is a special program on Poe. It was, in fact, the first program we did on in our ongoing series on Gothic horror, science fiction, and fantasy writers. So check out GRR number 35 to learn more about Edgar Allan Poe. All right, let's